Most of us don't think twice about our birthday, beyond celebrating it with cake or a quiet dinner. But what if the date you were born wasn't just a number? What if it was a subtle code, quietly influencing how easily or how painfully money flows in your life? This might sound far-fetched, but patterns tell a different story. Financial advisors, psychologists, and even Eastern metaphysics practitioners have noticed something uncanny. Certain birthdays appear again and again among self-made millionaires. These aren't just coincidences. They're frequencies, energetic imprints that shape how you interact with opportunity, decision-making, and wealth itself. The truth is, some people are born with a rhythm that naturally syncs with money, not because they are smarter, not because they're luckier, but because their date of birth carries a vibration that supports structure, leadership, connection, or legacy, traits that wealth tends to follow. Today, we're not just talking astrology or superstition. We're breaking down real patterns hidden in plain sight. We'll walk through the top-ranked birth dates that consistently show up among high earners, not to flatter anyone, but to help you see your own number with fresh eyes. Because here's the twist, it's not enough to be born on a so-called lucky day. You have to live it, and if you weren't born on one of the high-ranking days, that's not the end of the story, it's just a different kind of map. By the end of this video, you might not look at your birthday the same way again. And if you've ever wondered why success feels so close, but still out of reach, this just might give you the missing piece. Not a promise, not a prophecy, just a quiet shift in perspective, backed by pattern, energy, and the subtle language of timing. Part 1, the whisper that came with your first breath. There's something oddly private about your birthday. It's printed on every form, whispered at every celebration, but rarely questioned. Most people see it as just a number, a date that marks the start of your life. But what if that number is more than a beginning? What if it's a frequency? A silent rhythm that's been quietly influencing how easily or how painfully wealth flows in and out of your life. From the moment you took your first breath, something happened that science still struggles to explain and language can barely describe. The world around you paused, if only for a second, and stamped your energy with a very specific imprint. The time, the location, the alignment of invisible forces, whether you call it luck, energy, or just timing, it formed the very first blueprint of your life. You didn't choose it, you couldn't shape it, but it's been with you ever since. In Eastern metaphysics, this is called the heaven-earth-human moment. It's when the cosmic clock clicks into place. The sky, heaven, the space around you, earth, and your own first inhale, human, create a unique energetic pattern. Not a prophecy, not a destiny, but a code, like the unique wiring behind your personality, your instincts, and yes, your relationship with money. Now, let's step back for a second. We live in a country that worships hard work, hustle, and the grind, and rightly so. Effort matters, discipline matters, but if you've ever worked harder than anyone around you and still found yourself barely keeping up, there's a part of you that knows this truth. Effort alone isn't always enough. Because some people move through the world like doors are already open. Others spend years just searching for the handle. This is where the whisper begins, quiet but consistent. The kind of whisper you don't hear with your ears, but with your experience. It's the jobs you keep getting passed over for, the ideas that never quite take off, the timing that's always slightly off. And at some point, maybe you stopped wondering why. Maybe you just accepted it as how life is. But what if it's not? What if your birth date, something you've never thought twice about, is the missing piece of your money puzzle? Because here's the part no one talks about. Your date of birth carries a vibration. And in numerology and Feng Shui, that vibration either flows naturally with the energy of wealth or constantly bumps up against it. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're just one frequency off, all you get is static. But get the frequency right, and suddenly the music is crystal clear. Your birth date is that frequency. And depending on what it holds, you may be wired for structure, for freedom, for leadership, or for healing. Each of these traits connects to money in a different way. Each opens and blocks opportunity differently. You may know someone born on the 8th or 17th who seems to attract money without trying. They're calm, logical, rarely emotional about finances. That's not luck. That's the energy of structure. Or someone born on the 5th who's always on the move, talking, connecting, selling, shifting, and money seems to show up wherever they are. That's the energy of movement and magnetism. On the surface, it looks random. But when you zoom out, patterns begin to emerge. And these patterns aren't spiritual fluff. They've been observed for centuries, quietly, persistently, and often dismissed because we're trained to value action over awareness. But here's the shift. Awareness creates smarter action. If you've been working hard without results, maybe it's time to stop pushing and start aligning. Because living out of sync with your birth energy is like planting seeds in winter. It's not that your dreams are wrong. It's just the soil, the season, the temperature all off. And deep down, you felt that. So before we even dive into rankings or wealth dates or lucky numbers, this is your moment to ask a quiet but honest question. Am I living in rhythm with myself? Have I been building wealth from alignment or just from willpower? Because here's the truth. When you move with the energy you were born with, money doesn't feel like a chase. It feels like a current. And you finally feel like you're moving with it. Part 2, the birthdays that pull wealth like a magnet. Rank 1, born on the 8th, 17th, 26th, the financial architects. There's a quiet strength in people born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th of any month. They don't always speak first. They don't always move fast. But beneath the surface, something rare is happening, a kind of grounded, unshakable energy that money tends to trust. In numerology and Feng Shui, this is no coincidence. These dates reduce to the number 8, a symbol of structure, discipline, long-term vision, and financial mastery. Not flashy, not fast, but enduring. These are the people who build systems that last, who think in decades, not days, and who often carry the subtle magnetism of someone who understands how the world moves, not by chance, but by design. If you're born on one of these dates, you may have always felt more responsible than others your age. Maybe you matured quickly. Maybe you naturally gravitate toward roles that require planning, organizing, or managing. You likely have a deep respect for time, for rules, for processes. While others chase big wins, you build steady streams. While others gamble, you calculate. And while others burn out, you build. But here's the thing. The same strength that makes you a financial architect can also become your greatest blockage. People with strong 8 energy often grip too tightly. You plan so carefully that spontaneity feels dangerous. You save so consistently that spending, even on joy, feels uncomfortable. You may think about money constantly, but not from greed, from fear, from a deep need for security that was likely shaped early in life. And in trying to protect yourself, you may unknowingly shut out the very flow you were born to handle. Because money, at its core, is movement. It needs confidence, but it also needs space. And when your energy becomes too rigid, too controlling, that flow slows down. You may find yourself working harder than ever, but feeling like you're just holding on, not expanding. You might accumulate wealth, but struggle to feel abundant. So how do you unlock your true potential? The answer isn't hustle. You already do that well. It's balance. It's letting go of the belief that control equals safety. It's trusting that discipline doesn't mean deprivation. And in Feng Shui, it's about activating the northwest sector of your space, the direction tied to mentors, guidance, and divine protection. This area, when energized correctly, amplifies your natural authority while softening the grip. Place something metallic here. A bronze coin, a golden object, or a tiger's eye stone. Not for luck, but to remind you that you don't have to carry everything alone. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Many successful CEOs, CFO, and wealth managers share these birth dates, not because they are lucky, but because the world responds to structure. Look at someone like Warren Buffett. Born August 30th, he doesn't live extravagantly. He's known for discipline, long-term thinking, and a deep understanding of value. That's the 8 energy in motion. He doesn't chase trends. He builds timeless systems. If your birthday falls on the 8th, 17th, or 26th, it's not a golden ticket, but it is a rare blueprint. one that requires maturity, consistency, and perhaps most importantly, the willingness to release fear. Your real wealth won't just come from what you control, it will come from what you trust. So ask yourself, are you managing money to protect yourself or to create freedom? Are you building systems that support growth or walls that keep opportunity out? And what would change in your life if you softened your grip just enough to let abundance breathe? You weren't born to chase. You were born to build. But even the strongest foundations need open doors, not just locked vaults. Rank 2 born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, 28th. The trailblazers. There's a certain kind of person who doesn't wait to be asked. They don't linger at the edge of the room or look around for permission. They see an opening and step into it. If you were born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, or 28th of the month, chances are this sounds familiar. You don't follow the crowd. You carve paths that didn't exist before you. In energy terms, you carry the vibration of the number 1, the pioneer, the spark, the one who goes first when others hesitate. This isn't just personality, it's frequency. And in Feng Shui and numerology, the energy of one is tied to the sun, radiant, independent, impossible to ignore. Whether you realize it or not, your presence changes the temperature of the room. People with this energy don't like to be boxed in. You don't wait for direction because often you already know what needs to be done. You sense trends before they become trends. You have ideas no one else has considered. And when you're aligned, you move quickly, with purpose, with confidence. This is what makes your energy so naturally magnetic to money, because wealth responds to leadership, not just in titles or positions, but in decisions. And the number 1 doesn't just make decisions, they set the entire direction. But with that strength comes a quiet tension, because when you're used to doing it alone, it can be hard to let others in. You may carry more than your share, not because you have to, but because trusting others feels slower. You may isolate without meaning to. You may reject feedback, not from arrogance, but from deep conviction. And over time, that edge, so brilliant in the beginning, can turn sharp. You stop asking questions. You start pushing harder. And suddenly, what once felt like momentum starts feeling like exhaustion. You're moving fast, but going nowhere new. This is the paradox of the trailblazer. You're born to lead, but real wealth, sustainable wealth, doesn't come from solo flights. It comes from knowing when to reach out, when to listen, when to pause. Money may be attracted to confidence, but it stays where there's connection. And that's your edge to refine. You don't need to dim your fire. You just need to make sure it warms people instead of burning bridges. In Feng Shui, the sun's energy, your energy, is amplified in the east. This direction symbolizes new beginnings, active movement, and self-leadership. If your birthday falls on a 1 number, energize the eastern part of your home or office. Use a sunrise painting, warm lighting, or red accents. These don't just decorate the space. They reflect your inner authority back to you. They remind you to lead from vision, not from pressure. And here's the truth that matters most. Your birthday isn't just a symbol of independence. It's a reminder that your drive comes from within, but you don't have to do everything alone. In fact, the most powerful leaders are the ones who know how to carry others with them, who inspire, not just achieve. Think about Oprah Winfrey, born on January 29th. Her path was never handed to her. She built it. But what made her truly magnetic wasn't just her ambition. It was her ability to connect, to elevate others while she rose. That's the evolved one energy in motion, bold but generous, clear but open. If you were born on a 1 number day, you were born to move first. But the real question is, are you moving from inspiration or just from habit? Are you leading your life or sprinting to outrun your doubt? The energy of number 1 can achieve extraordinary things, but only when it's fueled by clarity, not fear. So ask yourself, what am I building? Who am I bringing with me? And what kind of wealth do I actually want to leave behind? Because here's what's true, you weren't born to follow, but you also weren't born to fight the world alone. There's a quieter power in trusting your own voice and knowing when to let someone else's voice shape the vision with you. You lead best when you're not just chasing forward, but when you're aware of the ground beneath your feet. And when you move from that place, The path isn't just new, it's yours. Rank 3 born on the 5th, 14th, 23rd, the connectors. There are people who walk into a room and within moments everything feels lighter. The air shifts, conversations start, energy moves. These are the connectors, and if you were born on the 5th, 14th, or 23rd of any month, chances are you're one of them. Whether you know it or not, you carry the vibration of the number 5. A frequency of movement, curiosity, adaptability, and human magnetism. In Feng Shui and numerology, 5 is the wind. It's not meant to be tamed, it's meant to move. That's why people born on these days are often the life of the party, the deal closer, the friend who always knows someone who knows someone. You don't just chase opportunity, you create it, usually through people. Your strength lies in your intuition. You read energy before words are even spoken. You know how to pivot when things go sideways. You're flexible, fast thinking, and often one step ahead of the market. These traits make you a natural in sales, media, networking, events, and anything that requires energy to flow freely. And money tends to find its way to you not because you're chasing it, but because you're following what excites you. The number 5 isn't about holding or hoarding, it's about attracting and exchanging. But your gift comes with a price. Because you feel so much, you move quickly, and sometimes you move too quickly. You can get pulled in 10 directions at once, saying yes to too many things, chasing too many dreams. It's not that you're flaky, it's that everything seems possible, until it isn't, until you burn out, until the excitement fades, until the money that came in fast slips away just as easily. That's the hidden challenge of the 5 energy, momentum without grounding. You're brilliant at starting, but to build real wealth, you have to learn how to stay. Stay with one project long enough to let it bloom. Stay with one strategy long enough to refine it. Stay in one energetic space long enough to root it. In Feng Shui, the spiral is your symbol. It's movement, but centered. It turns, but never loses its point of origin. To support your energy, place spiral-shaped objects like decor, jewelry, or artwork in your workspace. Add light, air flow, even a small water feature. You need to feel alive in your environment, not boxed in. The southeast area of your home, the traditional wealth corner, responds well to your energy when it's open, bright, and connected to nature. There's another key to your abundance, people. For you, money doesn't show up in silence. It shows up in collaboration, conversation, connection. That's why your network matters more than your resume. Your energy flows best when you're in motion, not just physically, but emotionally. Places that are static, rigid, or emotionally heavy will drain you. Choose environments, both social and physical, that allow your energy to breathe. Look at someone like Richard Branson, born on July 18th. While not a direct 5-day, his entire entrepreneurial spirit mirrors the 5 frequency. Adventurous, curious, unafraid to pivot. Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Galactic. He builds through movement, connection, boldness. That's 5 energy in action, always evolving, never standing still. So if you were born on the 5th, 14th, or 23rd, ask yourself, where am I moving too fast to notice the gold under my feet? Am I chasing variety or avoiding depth? Have I given myself permission to build as well as begin? Because your energy isn't meant to be boxed in, but it does need boundaries, not to contain you, but to give you something to bounce off of, something that amplifies rather than diffuses your brilliance. Your words are powerful, your presence is memorable, your instincts are sharp. And when you learn how to stay rooted in the storm, without silencing the wind, you become unstoppable. You don't need to force wealth to come to you. You just need to stay long enough for it to recognize that you're ready to receive. Rank 4 born on the 6th, 15th, 24th. The caregivers. Some people chase wealth with ambition. Others attract it through presence. If you were born on the 6th, 15th, or 24th of any month, your power isn't in how loud you speak, it's in how deeply you care. You carry the energy of the number 6. The nurturer, the protector, the one others turn to when life gets hard and no one else is listening. In Feng Shui and numerology, 6 is the energy of harmony, devotion, and restoration. It's not flashy, but it's magnetic in a different way because trust is currency and you have a way of making people feel seen. You may have noticed this your whole life. Strangers open up to you, friends lean on you. Colleagues rely on your stability when things fall apart. Whether you're a teacher, a healer, a creative, or a counselor at heart, people sense that being around you is safe. That's not something you learned. It's something you carry. Your voice doesn't push, it calms. Your presence doesn't compete, it reassures. And in a world that's always rushing, your energy gives people permission to breathe. Financially, this makes you well-suited for work that involves people, healing, aesthetics, education, or thoughtful service. When you're aligned, money flows through trust. Clients stay with you. Communities build around you. Opportunities arise not because you shouted, but because your integrity spoke for you. But here's where the challenge comes in. Because when your natural instinct is to give, it's easy to forget yourself. And over time, that quiet generosity can turn into quiet exhaustion. You give more than you have. You say yes when you mean no. You offer energy to everyone but yourself. And then you wonder why money doesn't stay, why joy feels thin, or why you always feel slightly behind, despite working so hard to hold everything together. This is the shadow side of the caregiver. When your value becomes tied to how much you can give, you slowly disconnect from your own worth. And wealth, it doesn't stay where energy leaks, not because you're unworthy, but because the space to receive was never protected. In Feng Shui, your healing starts in the southwest, the area of relationships, roots, and emotional stability. To support your energy, place something circular here. A ceramic bowl, a round crystal, a smooth stone. The circle represents wholeness. Not perfection, not performance, just completion. It reminds you that you're part of the equation, not just the one holding everything together for others. Also, consider this. Valuing your time, your service, your gifts is not selfish, it's spiritual. When you allow yourself to be compensated fairly, you're not taking from others, you're teaching them that care has value. That presence is worth something. That emotional labor is real labor. And when you begin to receive without guilt, your energy begins to refill, and from that place your impact deepens. Not because you gave more, but because you finally gave to yourself first. Look at someone like Princess Diana, born July 1st, with a 6 energy aura in the public's memory. She wasn't known for aggression or dominance. She was remembered for compassion. But that same compassion also led to exhaustion, because the world can take everything from someone who doesn't know how to draw the line. And you don't have to be a royal to relate. You just have to look at the times you gave too much and forgot to rest. Gave your time for free. Gave your heart where it wasn't returned, and kept smiling anyway. So ask yourself now, where have I confused love with sacrifice? Where have I turned giving into a way of proving I belong? And what would shift in my life if I treated myself with the same softness I offer everyone else? Because the truth is, you don't need to become someone else to be wealthy. You just need to come home to yourself. You're already enough, already magnetic. And when you stop leaking energy and start valuing it, money will stop slipping through your hands. It will stay because you stayed with yourself. Rank 5, born on the 9th, 18th, 27th, the visionaries. There's a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from age. It comes from carrying more than most people ever see. If you were born on the 9th, 18th, or 27th of any month, you likely know what that feels like. You're not loud about it. You don't wear it like a badge. But there's a depth to you, a quiet gravity, that others sense even if they can't explain it. You carry the energy of the number 9. The visionary, the old soul, the one who feels the weight of the collective before anyone else does. In Feng Shui and numerology, 9 is the number of completion, spiritual leadership, and legacy. It's the last single-digit number, the one that holds the memory of everything that came before it. That's why people with this birthday energy often seem older than their years, more emotionally attuned, more intuitively guided. You're not chasing trends, you're chasing meaning. And wealth for you isn't about accumulation, it's about impact. You may have been drawn to art, healing, activism, or innovation, not because it's easy, but because you can't not care. You see through facades, you feel what others ignore, And because of that, money may have always felt secondary, like a tool, not a goal, like something you respect but never fully trusted. And that's where your challenge begins. Because while your spirit moves in high places, your earthly self still needs support. You can't pour into the world if your own cup is empty. And too often, people with this energy live in imbalance, giving more than they receive, working from passion but not protecting their peace. You may undercharge, overwork, stay in dynamics that drain you because you understand the other person's pain. You may even feel guilty when abundance shows up, like you didn't earn it, or like someone else needed it more. But here's the truth you need to remember. Your heart is not a liability, it's a compass. And when you align it with boundaries, not walls, but wise lines, your visionary energy becomes unstoppable. You don't just create change, you sustain it. You build legacies that money wants to be part of. In Feng Shui, the center of your home reflects your inner world. And for 9 energy people, this is where harmony must begin. Keep it clean, open, grounded. Use soft lighting, calming scents, or a lotus image to reconnect you to stillness. You need space to listen inward. You need stillness, not to withdraw, but to refill. And perhaps most importantly, honor your endings. 9 is the number of cycles closing. You are meant to release, to let go, to evolve, to transform. Holding on too long, whether it's to people, projects, or pain, blocks your forward path. When you cling, you shrink. When you release, you rise. Think of someone like Steve Jobs, born February 24th. A visionary, yes, but also a man who blended art, intuition, and technology to shape the world. He wasn't driven by money. He was driven by meaning. And yet, he created massive wealth. Why? Because he channeled his vision through discipline, through design, through non-negotiable standards. That's 9 energy in motion, heart and mind fused into action. So ask yourself, what am I still carrying that no longer fits who I'm becoming? Where have I traded peace for loyalty? And if I believed that my gifts were enough, just as they are, what would I stop apologizing for? You weren't born to chase. You weren't even born to lead in the traditional sense. You were born to illuminate, to show others what's possible when we stop seeking and start seeing. Your wealth will come not when you demand it, but when you finally make space for it. When you trust that what flows through you is also meant to flow to you. Part 3, real story, same birthday, different destiny. Imagine 2 people, same birth date, same city, same starting point. One becomes a millionaire, celebrated, self-assured. The other, still wondering why their life feels like a series of closed doors. On paper, their lives should have unfolded the same. But energy doesn't move on paper. It moves through choice, space, timing, and awareness. Let's take a real-world example. Elon Musk and a man born on the exact same day, June 28, 1971. One became one of the most recognized innovators in the world. The other, a mechanic in a small town working 12-hour days to stay afloat. Now, success doesn't make one life better than another. That's not the point. The point is, same number, same potential, but very different expression of energy. Elon isn't wealthy just because of intelligence. He channels his birth energy, ambition, vision, structure through alignment. He surrounds himself with spaces that reflect his mission. He's constantly in motion, yet guided by something deeply internal. That's birth energy in sync. It's not perfect, but it's powerful. The other man, he's not lazy, he's not less capable, but he's unaware. He lives in an environment that drains him, cluttered, heavy, stuck. He never saw himself as someone meant for more. He never questioned whether his space, his habits, or his beliefs were supporting or suffocating his natural flow. And that's the real difference. Because the day you're born gives you a frequency, but it doesn't guarantee the outcome. Your space can block it. Your mindset can delay it. Your energy, when misaligned, can turn potential into pressure and passion into pain. So before you compare your path to someone else's, ask, am I living my number, or just carrying it like a forgotten key? Same birthday, same starting point, but destiny isn't handed to you. It's activated when you finally decide to open the door. Part 4, how to activate the wealth energy of your birthday. Knowing your birthday energy is powerful. But knowledge alone doesn't change your bank account, your peace of mind, or your future. Awareness is the key, but activation is the door. And today we open that door, because the truth is you could be born on the most wealth-attracting day of the year and still feel stuck, depleted, chasing shadows. Energy isn't automatic. It's awakened through space, rhythm, and intention. So how do you activate it? Start with your space. In Feng Shui, your home isn't just a backdrop, it's a mirror. Every corner, every item, every blocked light or unopened drawer tells a story about how energy flows or doesn't in your life. Want to shift your financial reality? Don't just chase income. Shift your environment. Walk through your home and ask, where is the energy heavy? What items feel like a past version of me? Is there a corner that hasn't changed in years, just like an area of my life that feels stuck? The answers won't shout, but they will whisper, and that's where the real work begins. Next, activate your wealth direction. No matter your birthday, the southeast is the universal wealth corner in Feng Shui. Stand at your front door facing in, then walk to the back left area of your home. That's it. That's where you start. Clear it, clean it, add life to it. Use wood, green tones, gentle water symbols, a healthy plant, a bowl of coins, a photo that reminds you of what abundance really means to you, not to anyone else. Now anchor your personal birthday energy. Remember, each number carries a theme. If you're a number 1, you need bold colors and vision boards that honor leadership. A number 8, metal elements, structure, clean lines. A number 6, soft textures, circles, things that evoke care and emotional nourishment. You don't need to redecorate your entire house. Just start with one shelf, one wall, one shift. Energy multiplies when it feels seen. But here's the truth most people miss. You can't just change the outside. Your beliefs shape your results just as much as your floor plan. So ask, what financial story have I outgrown? What guilt, fear, or conditioning am I still carrying that doesn't match the person I'm becoming? Maybe you grew up believing money is hard, or selfish, or unstable. That story may have protected you once, but it's not serving you now, and energy listens. When you hold on to guilt while trying to receive, the flow gets tangled. When you wait for permission to rest, to receive, to be seen, your environment waits too. But when you shift, when you clean out the drawer, repaint the wall, move the chair that's never been sat in, something changes. Not because the object has power, but because you chose to move, to align, to say, I'm ready. And maybe, for the first time, the space around you says it back. Wealth energy doesn't just mean more money. It means less resistance. It means waking up and not feeling like you're behind. It means having room to breathe, to choose, to give, not from depletion, but from overflow. So here's where you begin, not with a purchase, not with a secret object, but with one honest decision. Pick a corner of your life, physical or emotional, that no longer reflects who you are. Shift it, honor it, bless it. Then watch what begins to move. Your birthday isn't a prophecy, it's a map, but only you can choose to walk it. Final, you've made it to the end, and that alone says something, not just about curiosity, but about readiness. Because people don't listen this long unless something in them already knows it's time for a shift. We've explored numbers, dates, directions, and space, but underneath all of it, this wasn't a video about luck. It was about energy, your energy, and how, from the moment you took your first breath, you carried something unique. Not better, not worse, just yours. Your birthday isn't a sentence, it's a signal. A soft imprint like a melody beneath the noise. It doesn't scream, it whispers, and it keeps whispering through the moments when money feels far, when opportunities feel closed, when you wonder if maybe you just missed your turn. You didn't, because energy doesn't punish, it waits. It waits for alignment, for awareness, for even the smallest act of self-recognition. A cleared drawer, a new thought, a kinder word to yourself. You were never too late, you were just waiting for the right question. So if this video has done anything, I hope it reminded you that your path is not broken. Maybe tangled, maybe paused, but never broken. You are not behind, you are just becoming. And whether you were born on a millionaire date or not, what matters is what you do with it now. How you walk into the rest of your day, your space, your life, with a little more awareness, a little more softness, and maybe, just maybe, a little more trust. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with more than just your ears. And wherever this finds you, whether your space is glowing or messy, whether your bank account is full or fragile, I hope you carry this truth with you. You were never chasing money. You were learning to return to your own energy, and that is where wealth begins. Take care of your space, take care of your light, and watch what finds its way to you.